Coffee is one of the most popular drinks in the world today, enjoyed by millions of people. Its rich flavor and stimulating effects have made it a favorite for centuries. The history of coffee is fascinating and complex, spanning many cultures and centuries. Origins in Ethiopia. The story of coffee begins in Ethiopia, in East Africa. According to legend, a goat herder named Kaldi discovered coffee in the 9th century. He noticed that his goats became very energetic after eating the berries from a particular tree. Curious about this effect, Kaldi tried the berries himself and felt a similar boost in energy. Kaldi shared his discovery with a local monastery, where the monks began to use the berries to stay awake during long hours of prayer. They made a drink from the berries, and soon the knowledge of this energizing beverage spread to nearby regions. This legend highlights the mystical beginnings of coffee, suggesting that its power was recognized long before it became a common drink. Coffee in the Arab world. By the 15th century, coffee had made its way to the Arabian Peninsula. It became popular in Yemen, where the first coffee beans were cultivated. The drink spread quickly throughout the Arab world, particularly in cities like Mecca and Medina. Coffee houses, known as Kahve Khane, began to open, becoming social centers where people gathered to drink coffee, listen to music, and discuss various topics. In the 16th century, coffee reached Persia, now Iran, Turkey, and North Africa. It was during this time that coffee became a significant part of the culture in these regions. The Ottomans played a crucial role in spreading coffee culture, and coffee houses became important places for intellectual discussions. These establishments were not just places to drink coffee, they were venues for lively debates, poetry readings, and even political discussions. Coffee in Europe. Coffee arrived in Europe in the 17th century. Initially, it was met with some skepticism. Some people called it the bitter invention of Satan. However, coffee quickly gained popularity. Coffee houses opened in major cities like London, Paris, and Vienna. These establishments became known as penny universities because for the price of a cup of coffee, people could engage in discussions and debates about politics, science, and philosophy. In England, the first coffee house opened in Oxford in 1650, followed by London in 1652. These coffee houses attracted a diverse crowd, including writers, philosophers, and politicians. Notable figures such as Voltaire, Rousseau, and Benjamin Franklin were known to frequent these establishments. By the late 17th century, coffee had become a staple beverage in many European countries. In France, coffee gained a reputation for sophistication. The famous Café de Flore in Paris became a gathering place for intellectuals and artists. People would sit for hours, discussing ideas and sharing their work. This culture of conversation and creativity around coffee contributed to the development of modern literature and philosophy. The coffee trade. As demand for coffee grew, so did the need for production. Coffee plants were cultivated in various tropical regions. The Dutch were the first to successfully cultivate coffee outside of Arabia, establishing plantations in Java, Indonesia, in the 1600s. This led to a significant increase in coffee production. In the 18th century, coffee cultivation spread to the Caribbean and South America. Countries like Brazil, Colombia, and Jamaica became major coffee producers. Brazil, in particular, became the world's largest producer of coffee, a title it still holds today. The Brazilian coffee industry flourished, leading to the establishment of vast coffee plantations that relied heavily on slave labor. This dark chapter in coffee history raises important questions about ethics and sustainability in coffee production. The coffee trade also contributed to the development of global trade networks. Coffee became a valuable commodity, and its trade had significant economic impacts on the countries involved. It was often shipped across oceans and became a central part of international commerce. Modern coffee culture. Today, coffee is enjoyed in many forms, from espresso to cappuccino to cold brew. The coffee industry has grown tremendously, with millions of people working in coffee farming, processing, and selling. Specialty coffee shops have emerged, focusing on high-quality beans and unique brewing methods. These shops often emphasize the origin of their coffee, promoting single-origin beans and artisan roasting techniques. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in sustainable and fair trade coffee. Many consumers are now more aware of the impact of coffee production on the environment and the lives of farmers. As a result, there has been a push for more ethical practices in the coffee industry. Fair trade certifications aim to ensure that farmers receive fair wages and work in safe conditions. Additionally, organic coffee farming practices are becoming more common as consumers seek environmentally friendly options. Coffee and global culture. Coffee has also become a significant part of global culture. It is often associated with social gatherings, business meetings, and leisurely moments. The phrase "let's grab a coffee" has become a common way to suggest meeting someone. Coffee rituals vary from country to country. For example, in Italy, espresso is an essential part of daily life, while in Sweden, fika refers to a coffee break that emphasizes socializing and enjoying pastries. Moreover, coffee has inspired art, literature, and music throughout history. Many famous writers, such as Honoré de Balzac and J.K. Rowling, have written about coffee and its role in their creative processes. Coffee has also influenced popular culture, appearing in films, songs, and advertisements. Conclusion. The history of coffee is rich and diverse, reflecting the cultures and societies that have embraced this beloved beverage. From its origins in Ethiopia to its global popularity today, coffee continues to be a drink that brings people together. Whether enjoyed alone or with friends, coffee remains a significant part of our daily lives. As we sip our coffee, we also connect with centuries of tradition, culture, and community, making each cup a part of a larger story.